from the government, and I'm here to help.
Welcome back, guys, to the Johnson Express podcast.
What's going on?
First off, we want to thank you for the support on everything you guys do, all our social medias. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, man, our social media has been getting a lot of attention.
That's awesome. We're getting thousands of views.
Yeah, we are getting a lot of likes too. I was gonna say we're not getting a lot of likes, but
big time. We big time.
Yeah, man, I'm actually getting excited. We also want to let you know that we value your opinions, and while we're not seeing that much activity on the opinion side, we'd like to. So send them to us over at our social medias.
Mason won't cry, I promise.
Yeah,
does not. He's not that emotional.
Constructive criticism is actually great. I support it. I wish we'd have more of that.
Yeah, I wish you guys speak up.
I wish somebody would just be like, "Hey, dude, your show sucks." I mean, all right, how do I change it?
If you have any topic suggestions, send it to our email at johnsonexpress534@gmail.com.
You can also send them to us at Instagram, Twitter, Truth, or you can put your suggestions in the comment section. I know most of you are watching on YouTube.
Comment too, you know.
So I think that's pretty much everything as far as reminders goes. Yeah?
Yeah. All
right.
Let's hop into this episode today.
Well, let's hop into it.
I can't say this word. This is a pretty big word for me. I need you to say it.
I'm not saying that.
I can't say it.
I ain't saying that.
No.
You'll say it at the same time?
All right, let's do it.
3, 2, 1.
Fuck the government.
All right, yeah, big time. And you're going to see why. This is horrible. This entire episode, it's mostly chillaxed.
It just shows that our government's a piece of shit.
Yeah, our government's horrible, and we give you a lot of reasoning behind this.
What's this big word, as you see by the title?
Oh, yeah, as you see by the title. Kakistocracy.
Kakistocracy.
So, to start off, I'm sure you're wondering what that means. Simply put, this is from dictionary.com, a kakistocracy is a government in which people are in charge. The absolute worst people are in charge. This is used in political commentary, especially to call out governments considered corrupt or incompetent. So maybe Joe Biden.
Joe Biden? Kamala Harris?
Maybe Joe Biden.
So
let's get into some examples, man. We've covered this first one, Operation Northwoods. You want to tell us what it's about?
So it is. Okay, I remember. I said the definition. I'm over here struggling. It's a false flag operation that was originated in the Department of Justice in 1962. Pretty much, it was drafted by the Joint Chiefs of Staffs, signed by all these men. Oh boy, we got Lyman. He's back.
Lyman Elements. Well, he's the one from the JFK video when we first discussed this. Yeah. If you guys want a little bit more information in that, watch that one. Watch it until it gets archived because we're about to redo that episode and it'll probably get archived. So watch it or reference the next one.
So it was a false flag operation, which pretty much means that the CIA they staged and committed acts of terrorism against Americans, Cubans. To promote a war that they wanted.
Yeah, this was like during the height of the Cuban Missile Crisis,
Cold War.
Yeah, Cold War. There was there's some speculation that this could have been part of the reason that he was assassinated.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
You can either reference our old video or our new video when it comes out, depending on when you're watching this. The new one's going to be a lot better. We're actually going to have a guest on here. We work with him. He's a super nice guy. No, he's not famous, but he's a super nice guy, and he's really knowledgeable on the subject. But yeah, this Operation Northwoods, it was proposed, so it never happened. It was shot down by JFK.
Thank God.
Thank God. But they wanted to orchestrate violent terrorism in United States cities. Cities. They proposed the possible assassination of Cuban immigrants, the sinking of Cuban refugee boats at the high seas. I don't know. I guess that means
look at this. Look at this one right here. Hijacking planes to be shot down or given the appearance of being shot down.
Yeah, so they were going to either planes out of the sky or pretend that planes were shot out of the sky. They also mentioned blowing up a United States ship, and this is all in the document. You can find the document online. It's on Wikipedia, or you can find it through other sources. It's an actual document.
Just look up Operation Northwoods. All this info's there.
Yeah, and we'll have some stuff in the description. We'll probably even pop that picture up if we can find it. But yeah, this was horrible, and this was all. The only reason they did this was to orchestrate a reason to be able to finally, just blow this whole Cuban Missile Crisis out of the water and just go to war with Cuba.
I look at it, I compare this to, I didn't say this last time we talked about this, but I compare it to Pearl Harbor, because when Japan, they attacked Pearl Harbor, that got the American people to all right, let's go to war. Because before that, people weren't ready to go to war. So they were going to use this to hype us up again to, let's go after the Cubans. Fidel Castro sucks. Let's go get him.
And there's a lot of conspiracies now that you say that, that not Pearl Harbor necessarily, but the 9/11 attacks could have been the same way.
I've heard
that. We're going to talk about the Patriot Act later on, and in this episode, and it was signed right after the Twin Towers were demolished by those terrorists.
And it's kind of, Fidel Castro was a horrible person. Don't get me wrong, but they were going to blame him for something that, who knows if he even had the idea of doing this to us, and our own government was going to attack us.
Well, what gets me is, Kevin, the guy we're going to have on, his name's Kevin, by the way. He was telling me, he was like, JFK and his brother were super, hated Fidel Castro.
Oh, yeah.
It was the whole entire reason of his presidency, but even he shot this down. Even he decided, that's too far.
It is too far.
It is too far. It's extremely too far. There's no reason to justify attacks on your own citizens and another country, and then blame it on that other country as an excuse to go to war with them, especially when we're that much more powerful of a country. That's just ridiculous. Obviously they had Russia on their side, so
that would have been World War III. This was before. This was before the blockade, the Cuban Missile Crisis, stuff like that.
I thought it was right before it then.
Yeah, it was right before it.
Oh yeah, 1962. Yeah. I'm sorry, that was my fault. So everything I just said about the Cuban Missile Crisis, just
Cuban Missile Crisis was in '63.
What does that say? Communist Cuban Terror Campaign. Oh, I remember this. Okay, so I actually put this in our notes. The operation recommended developing a communist Cuban terror campaign in the Miami area and in other Florida cities, and even in Washington.
Trying to make it look like they were coming after the president, I suppose.
Probably.
And Florida's right near 90 miles from the coast of Cuba, so.
Yeah, it was an easy place to do it. Yeah. It would have made sense to the citizens at that time. But it says it involved the bombing of civilian targets themselves, which was to be blamed on the irresponsible Cuban government to paint a false flag image of Fidel Castro and misinform the American public. So that's literally all they wanted to do. They just wanted to cause terror on their own citizens as well as another country, and then just go destroy that other country.
We were destroyed Cuba if we really got a hold of them.
But that is if Russia didn't get to us first.
Yeah, Yeah. But good thing this was shot down, and we don't have World War III, and we're here 60 years later. So
yeah, unfortunately, it could have potentially cost the life of a good president, if that's the conspiracy you want to believe in. I don't have an opinion on that.
That was Operation Northwoods. A little quick something of that, and tell them about the next one.
Project MK Ultra. All right, so Project MK Ultra is extremely. This one
sucks.
Is it? Would you say this is your favorite?
This is probably my favorite.
I could tell by the way you're researching it. It's not my favorite. Well, we're gonna get into my favorite in just a minute. I love the whole Edward Snowden Patriot Act thing, so we go deep into that one. But Project MK Ultra was basically it was a CIA operation where they were drugging innocent people, like drug addicts. They were drugging.
They made sure it was people that no one else cared about or thought about.
Oh yeah, well they did it to people. They did it to lowlifes,
prostitutes,
drug addicts,
mentally unstable people, people who had cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Even the military, people that were serving in the military,
addicted prisoners. Did you say that already?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Good.
Just repeating it. No, there was something I read earlier that we had in here that I don't see anymore. There it is in bold. How stupid am I? MK Ultra used several methods to manipulate subjects' mental states, such as the covert administration of high doses of psychoactive drugs. The main one that they talk about is LSD, which is an extremely psychoactive drug. Makes you trip balls.
Hallucinate for
hours.
Yeah, they would do it nonstop too.
And John was saying earlier, like they would sit them in a room, kind of like what we're in right now, like in front of the camera,
right here,
and they would just hallucinate their asses off.
And they would so it was pretty much like a two-way mirror, and there would be a mirror, and they could see through it, and they'd sit on the other side and just sit there and like take notes and watch what they would do, and eventually that person would start freaking out.
So it was basically like an interrogation room, and that's pretty much what they used it for. They used it to weaken the mental state of criminals that they were interrogating, hoping that even if they weren't, the what would it be? Not the victim, the suspect. If they weren't the actual person that committed that crime, it would just weaken their mind, and they would probably confess. That's tragic, man. I'm not defending this at all, but the reason America and the CIA they believed they needed to do this was because they thought that China, the Soviet Union, and North Korea were already doing these experiments on American prisoners that were over there. Just a quick little side note. When doing research in this a long time ago, I didn't put this in the notes because I don't know much about it, but there's a podcast that we watch called Theories of the Third Kind. We both reference it a lot, or I do at least, and he watches them as well, and really good podcast. You should go check them out. But they get into MK Ultra in one of their episodes, and they also get into a lot of other like foreign stuff that the United States would look at and then take into consideration. They were using psychics in Russia, like people who could like supposedly like predict the future. You know what psychics are? Yeah. Those little balls. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that's not how they were doing it. I'm sure they were probably, if they were actually able to do this, which it seemed like they were because Russia left this operation going for like 30 years, and it might even still be going. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not that informed about it, but yeah, the United States took that into consideration, and that's one of the reasons that MK Ultra started. They were scared. I mean, they thought that America, that we were in the Cold War. We wanted to be on top. We needed to know as much. Were we in the Cold War? Started in 53 through 73. So yeah. We wanted to know as much as we thought the other countries did. It's horrible. It's terrible. But we wanted to be the best, and they wanted to find out. Yeah, whatever way possible. From the 40s to the 70s, it seems like this is when all this corrupt stuff went on. And it could be that we just don't know of anything else past that. Yeah, maybe 50 years down the line. Well, up until, 2001, the Patriot Act. We'll get into that. But I'm just saying, like, basically, all this stuff was starting in, 1945, 1953. The 60s. 1962. I mean, this is all, like, around the same time frame. It's like all these corrupt individuals were just like, hey, we need more power. We need to be able to do these corrupt things, like drug innocent people. I wouldn't say innocent, but like these prisoners, they don't want to be subjected to that. No person should. But the thing is, like, they didn't know. Some of them didn't know. Most of them didn't know that it was happening to them. They didn't volunteer. They were just thrown here. They inject it in them. They give it to them somehow, and bada bing, bada boom. They watch them suffer. And it says some of them were even bribed into receiving more drugs. This goes to the drug addicts that's terrible. Yeah, that's horrible. But like the drug addicts and the prostitutes that they were conducting these experiments on, they would just bribe them with more drugs. Like, hey, you come sit down in a room and trip balls off some LSD. We'll give you like 2 more. And it's like that's horrible. Like the thing is, the CIA was so scared about this coming out that they got rid of almost all of the evidence. The only thing that anybody knows about is there was 20,000 receipts found in an abandoned warehouse in the 70s. And all that did was how much money they spent and what kind of drugs they bought. It has no names to any of the people, nobody that was involved. So we really don't know at all. That's all we know. What shocks me is the research for all this was done in 80 institutions across the United States. Yeah, colleges. That includes, colleges, what was it, psychiatric hospitals, I believe? Psychiatric hospitals and even pharmaceutical companies. Yeah, there they are, big pharma. So, and some military personnel. They even did this on some military, And people that fight for our country. They were getting injected with drugs. I'll tell you what, I bet it was the higher ups. I bet they were trying this on like people who
like the head guys.
Yeah, I bet they were like, "Yo, this will make you better.
This will make you stronger.
Oh yeah,
make you a super soldier."
I bet you they did, and I bet you it did too. I bet you the placebo effect of that just made them better, which is crazy.
And this is all sad, but the sad part is that there has been no one that remembers, if they're still alive, there's been no one that remembers any of this happening to them, which I don't think I remember either if I had all them drugs in my body. But
you feel like you just came out of the dentist office getting your wisdom teeth pulled.
So I kind of wonder, I didn't really do research on this part, but like when it happened and they went through this, and then like when they got out of that trance, would they just like put them back in the room and they're just sitting there like, well, 3 days ago, I just don't remember. Like, I wonder what they thought happened.
I just want to know how they like lured them in there. Like for the people that weren't bribed, for the people that were unknowingly drugged like that. I just wonder like how do you do that? How do you consciously do that? Let alone how do you legally do that? How do you get away with it?
Well, they made sure to keep it a secret. That's why I didn't tell nobody.
I mean, it says that they gave him high doses of psychoactive drugs, electroshocks, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, which is something that I'm currently trying right now. I haven't successfully done it.
Money talks. They paid a lot of people off, I suppose, to keep their mouth shut.
Oh my God! They even used isolation and verbal and sexual abuse in addition to other torture methods.
Oh my gosh!
Sexual abuse. They were conducting these experiments on people that were drugged the hell out of, and then they were subjecting them to sexual abuse, and they were giving them electroshocks and trying hypnosis on them. They were literally trying to control these people's minds. They were doing experiments to see how they could control, mass population.
And that's
ridiculous.
That's what they did.
And they were effective at it too because they had over 80 institutions across the country.
And everybody kept their mouth shut.
And everybody just kept their mouths shut.
Nobody stood up and said, "Oh, this is wrong. This is wrong what you're doing to these people." But no.
That's horrible. Thankfully, on this next topic, it was finally all revealed by one guy.
Goodness.
Well, several people, but the main story is one guy. So let's get into that.
All right.
This is about the mass surveillance of everybody in the United States. So, John, let's hear about that.
So, from 1945, after the end of World War II, until 2013, for almost 70 years, nobody knew that the government was keeping their eye on us by telegram and then, telephones,
fax machines,
radios,
emails,
now cell phones. They were keeping their eye on us.
Yeah, right at the end of
through everything.
Right at the end of World War II, like as it was coming to an end, the United States Army had already gained legal access to 3 communications companies, RCA Global, ITT, and Western Union. After the war had ended, the government asked if they could still monitor these international communications. They claimed it was for the safety of the country. Mm-hmm. And the companies just obliged. They were like, hey, you know what? We don't want to be seen as unpatriotic. Sure. If it's for the safety of the country, go ahead. And, I agree. If it's for the safety of the country, for international communications, sure, go ahead.
It should only be if... It was supposed to be if they're suspicious of you.
Yeah, if they're suspicious.
Not just looking at you whenever, checking you out, hearing what you're doing, but it was all, from the start it was all corrupt. They just want power. That's it. That's all this is really.
There's a book written called The Lawless State, and according to it, the government wasn't just using this to monitor foreign communications, but they were also allegedly illegally analyzing documentation of communications between domestic, American citizens. And this goes for like cross country, local, everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Was it the NSA? They were made in 1952, but nobody knew that they even existed until 75.
Yeah, all of this was being kept a secret. Not just this. By the way, we didn't even say the name of that operation. The name of this operation that had gained access to all these companies after the war was called Operation Shamrock. So this is where they were bringing in all the foreign data as well as allegedly illegally analyzing domestic communications
That's crazy. Just 23 years that a organization in the government was just nobody knew it existed.
Yeah.
Nobody.
The NSA was created in, like he said, 1952, and they took over this operation. And at the time, they weren't known about. They weren't known about until 1975, when Idaho Senator Frank Church opened up an investigation into supposedly into the misconduct of the United States intelligence agencies, whatever. This was all supposedly at the time. And these were called the Church Committee hearings. Now, this is also the same hearings that exposed Project MKUltra, which we just talked about. But we just kind of figured we'd say that for here. I didn't hear much about those hearings. I mean, I didn't hear much about Project MKUltra when it came to those hearings. Most of the stuff that we said was, already there.
So it was all kept secret, but in 1959, Congress passed a legislation so Congress knew. Congress passed a legislation to keep it all secret until this guy came out and told everybody.
Yeah, so during the hearing, this church committee hearings, the government admitted to all of this. And the head of the NSA director, he testified saying that this law passed in 59 not only gave them the authority to do this, but the responsibility to do this, because it was their job as a agency to, kind of protect or ensure the security and safety of America. So then he went on to say that that the disclosure of this information could jeopardize the achievements of its operations. That's crazy.
They set up in, it says like a lot of major cities around the country, all like cell towers and stuff. They could hear everything that was going on. Yeah.
It was made known that the facilities responsible for all this were located in major cities across the United States. New York, Washington.
Nobody knew.
And they were labeled as like telecommunications companies or like
what to get covered up.
And people would just walk into these places and they'd be like, "Sorry, we're closed." Yeah. They'd just walk out in the back. They'd have all these giant ass computers running, collecting and copying data from all these companies, and we get into that later on. Dang, that's way down there. Okay, that's all the way up at the Edward Snowden stuff.
Then finally, in 1978, they were able to put restrictions on the NSA. You got to chill out a little bit. They passed it's called the Foreign Intelligence Act. It pretty much gave the NSA a special court they had to go to in order to get permission to obtain these communications.
Yeah, it didn't really stop them that much, though.
Yeah, it says they had to have probable cause, but, what is that? What is probable cause?
Suspicion. Yeah. All they got to do is be like, "Hey, this person's suspicious. Can we go get it?" And really, in the long run, all it did was slow the process down. It didn't stop them from getting information in bulk, because a lot of these, especially when it comes to the Patriot Act of 2001, which we're about to get into, they continuously asked these companies, and these companies continuously obliged.
I mean, because you don't really know who is a threat and who's not a threat, but they were just like, "Billy Bob over there sounds like he's a threat. We need to check him out."
In that instance, go back to the quote that it was like Benjamin Franklin said it or something, and it was something along the lines of, "Any citizen who's willing to give up their freedom for safety deserves neither freedom nor safety." And I really believe that. If you're willing to say, "Here's all my freedom, as long as you keep me safe," that's like saying,
"No.
Here, take my gun and use it to protect me," and then he falls asleep. What are you going to do? I mean, you cannot trust somebody else with your life.
Yep. And protect yourself.
And this government was taking it, or our government was taking it into their own hands to do that. I think that's wrong. I think that's something that we should vote on.
I mean, as you can see, it didn't work.
No.
9/11 happened.
Yeah, 9/11 happened.
This had been going on 50 years prior, and it didn't stop it, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, fast forward to 2001, right after they were demolished by this horrific terror attack, the Patriot Act was formed. And it was initially to gain information on any potential terrorists that might want to cause more harm. But what it ended up doing it was pushed as a security measure for the country.
It was another way to get in our back pocket.
Yeah, all it was doing was they were using it in a time of fear to gain intelligence on the American populace. That's all they were doing. In Section 216 of the Patriot Act, you can look this up for yourself. It'll be in the description already there. The FBI can ask internet service providers to turn over a log of the websites a person visits and the addresses to keep on record. And the addresses of emails coming to and from the person's computer. This included the cooperation between cell phone service provider companies who would share information in bulk to the NSA for them to keep on record.
So
this can be proven by statements from both Google and Verizon. These are things that I've heard. I will try to get links in the description for you.
I want to say just
but these are.
I want to say just for it.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do about that.
So that means that every call you've made, every website you've looked at, every email you've sent, and every cooter pic you've ever received, is in a database that the government has.
Yeah, this government just keeps this giant database of
that's just
everything
weird.
everything you've ever sent, and these companies. There's been whistleblowers from these companies. Verizon has admitted to this. Verizon admitted to this, saying that they were legally obliged to do this from a classified court document. They're saying that they said like, hey, we support your your privacy. We I don't remember how they exactly worded it. I'm trying to paraphrase here, but they were on the side of the American citizens, but they were like, hey, the government was like, hey,
they're making money out of it.
Yeah, we got court orders. And at that time, it's like, all right, let's be honest here. As a company that big, they could have said something. They could have done something.
They could have came out about it.
So they're really just pushing the blame on the government, when in reality, they should have known that the Fourth Amendment clearly states that, we have the right to privacy.
I mean, I guess we gotta put ourselves in their shoes. Like, what if we're a big company and the government comes to us saying, "Hey, we need this for such and such." I mean, at the same, you don't
John,
trust them.
I know our values. I know we wouldn't do that.
I know, but I mean,
are you saying you would?
I'm not saying I would.
Are you saying you do it for money, John?
I'm saying I would.
John, you would do anything for money, man.
No, not everything. Not everything.
Not everything. You'd receive them cooter pics, wouldn't you?
I don't know. Those people were, like I said, in 2001, 9/11, people were scared. They just let stuff happen.
Yeah.
They just let it happen.
Like I said, they gave up their freedom for their safety. Not only did Verizon come out, not only has Google came out and said this, but there's been like whistleblowers from companies like AT&T, another cell phone provider company that's just like, hey, yeah, we do that. It's like, and then people are like, okay, yeah, it's fine, whatever. No, this isn't like a big outrage. The only people you hear talking about this are conspiracy theorists and Republicans.
And they're right.
Yeah,
they're not wrong, but no, everybody else.
This is all documented. This isn't a conspiracy. This is all like known information that was declassified. This is all information that's readily available. It's just people fail to look it up because they've been told their entire lives, like, no, that's just a huge government conspiracy.
I don't like the fact that they can do this stuff, but what can I really do? I mean, I can't do anything.
All we can do is share it to you and hope you share it to somebody else. I mean, that's all we can do.
Well, the people that are in charge right now really ain't gonna do nothing about it because they have it. But
what sucks is all of this was completely unknown. I mean, like, there was a few whistleblowers
until 9 years ago.
Yeah.
9 years ago.
I mean, like I said, there was a few whistleblowers. There was, there was a few, instances where Verizon would come out and say, yeah, we do that.
That was shoved underneath the rug.
They would shove it away. Nobody
because they didn't have thousands and thousands of these documents that this guy has.
Exactly. So yeah, like I said, this was all unknown until June 5th of 2013, when the British media outlet The Guardian published an article making these bold claims, supposedly obtained by an anonymous source. Now, this anonymous source wasn't known for a while, but it eventually came out that it was Edward Snowden. I'm sure a lot of you have heard that name, and you should go check out the Joe Rogan podcast.
He is a patriot.
I love that guy. Didn't you say he left the country and went to Hong Kong?
Yeah, he left on May 20th.
2013.
And then about a week or two later, that's when this came out. So he made sure to get the hell out of Dodge before this came out. I mean,
I wouldn't have been here either.
I bet at his house they came knocking on that door, going through and looking for him. But
yeah, he's skedaddled out of here. But yeah, and it was also revealed he had sent 15 to 20,000 documents to the Guardian.
I thought you were about to say 15 to 20.
No. And supposedly all of these exposed government spying. Supposedly all these documents have recorded proof of the government spying on particular individuals.
Now look at this. There's some Americans. There's some people out there that say Edward Snowden is a traitor because he exposes government. No, no. The government was doing something wrong for all these years, and he helped us.
Yeah,
he helped us.
Well, I mean, did he really? Look at him. He's still living in. I think he's living in Russia now.
Yeah, he's in Russia.
So I mean, he's living in Russia now.
And, I mean, he put it out there. I mean, there's no denying it.
I just wish that more people would take into account how serious that is, because this is a serious topic. When you're messing with people's ability to have privacy,
dude. Yeah.
I mean, the government literally has your dick pics. All right,
it's those little.
Every picture you've ever taken, they have. This is reported like. How can you be okay with that,
bro?
How can you be okay with that? How can you be okay that there's just some NSA analyst collecting all of our data in bulk, and just one day, if they want to use it against you, they can just, this would be great. Look at Hunter Biden. I mean, I'm not saying that was his own stupidity, but I'm just saying it could be an incident like that where they just find all your old stupid pictures. Doesn't matter how long ago they were, and they'll use them against you. Look at cancel culture now. It'd be so much easier to do that.
It's like the little things, when you download an app or something that says allowed to use location. That's the little stuff like that. I mean, even when you click don't allow, I guarantee this you'll see.
Yeah, well they have it. There was a document passed. I think it was through the Patriot Act. Man. And it was something along the lines of every cell phone had to be able to be pinged within like 1,000 feet.
What?
It had to be accurate within like 1,000 feet. Let me see if I can look that up. What are you looking up?
Dude, okay, so this just popped in my head. Okay, this is from the New York Times in 2016. Dude, if it's going to make me log in, are you serious? I guess I can't look at it.
You can find it through another site. What did you look up?
It was Mark Zuckerberg, and he had his laptop like mine and yours. Mm-hmm. He had the microphone and the camera covered up with tape. Mark Zuckerberg.
Dude, that guy's a freaking alien anyways. He keeps barbecue sauce on his shelf. Are you kidding me?
You don't?
What the hell, no.
Come on, man.
I don't keep my barbecue sauce next to my china.
Come on.
Good Lord, man. Oh, fun fact. Did you know that there was an operation...
if Mark Zuckerberg...
Pretty sure it was also conducted by the CIA. It was an operation it was a proposed operation that was like, it was going to create a database of all this stuff, kind of for the NSA to keep track of all this stuff. The same day, it was like a media outlet that would supposedly keep all this. Like, people would willingly put it on there.
Look at that picture. I'm going to put it up right now. He's got that covered with tape, and he's got his jack and his microphone covered up with tape. Huh. I mean, he's a weirdo. Don't get me wrong, but if this guy, who
my aunt does that shit,
she's doing something right,
dude. If you think a little piece of masking tape is going to block the government from hearing you, you're screwed. You know how much stuff they already got on you. You know how long you've had a phone. Right,
you know what will stop it? Boom! They can't see me.
I still got my phone over here. Yeah, I hope that was on camera.
Throw all the
we don't need none of this.
We don't need it. You can't have us,
dude. I bet you there's a bug in here somewhere. They're probably tapping into our our communications and stuff.
They can probably hear us through the thermostat over
there. They probably do. Dude, man,
That's so crazy.
They probably got a little microphone. They probably got a camera like that big, just like looking at us.
And through all these years, we've had
better quality than our camera too.
We've had a couple people stand up and come out with this shit, risking their lives. Edward Snowden's living in Russia.
Yeah, he's
living in Russia.
His life will never be the same until this corrupt government falls. His life will be... He will live in Russia until something happens to this nonsense. And
forever.
Will it? Are you willing to stand up? Are you willing to stand up?
You got to come out and say this stuff. That's what has to happen.
Yeah, I mean, this is stuff that needs to be made known. This isn't stuff that we need to go, oh, well, what can I do about it and just sweep it under the rug. No, there's 330 million Americans in this country.
Let your voice be heard.
Let your voice be heard. Speak up. That's
all you got to do.
If you know someone who's been in MK Ultra, that's been drugged, speak up. If you know someone who's had these tactics of mass surveillance used against them, speak up. If you haven't, speak up, because it could still happen to you.
It's been too many years of people like me and Mason and everybody keeping their mouth shut, letting everything just happen.
Yeah,
somebody's got to say something at some point.
Well, you've got the people that don't care, Or you've got the people that say, oh, well, what can I do about it anyways? Or you've got the people that are too scared to say stuff. And it's ridiculous. Don't be scared. Don't be scared of this.
Don't be scared. You need to care. Think about your families. If you got kids, think about your brothers and sisters. Think about your parents. Think about all your loved ones. It's happening to every one of them and you yourself. Think about, have some respect for yourself and say something.
Yeah, I mean, this goes into your life more than anybody else's because we're only progressing as a society, especially technologically.
And they're getting closer and closer and closer to you. That phone is in your pocket every day. I know it is. Mine is too.
Mm-hmm.
They hear everything. They see everything.
I don't know if they can at our job. It's too damn loud. But
they might not be able to hear anything. They probably see Anthony walk around.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like Mason said, technology is only advancing. Satellites, telecommunication stuff.
Yeah,
Who knows?
Like John said, it's been like 70, 80 years since this all started. This happened back in 1945. They were going and collecting in bulk telegrams.
But
they were collecting faxes. They were collecting copies. They were collecting emails. They've been collecting your phone records. Anything and everything you've ever sent has been mass collected and put in a database. And is that not scary to you?
And it all circles back. Everything we talk about, it all circles back to people being scared and allowing this just to happen. The people that were in the government during that time that allowed it to start, they're pussies.
Well, the thing is we're pussies because...
Yeah, we're pussies too.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, is that not scary to you? Obviously, it should be scary to you that the government has those abilities to look that deep into your life. The government knows more about you than your best friend does, and that's sad.
Facts.
And
that is sad.
And it's like, where was I going with that? What did I just say? What did I just say? True to national depression. No, but the government knows more about you than your best friend does, and they have all this information on you, and it's only getting easier and easier for them to obtain that information. Mm. And if we just sit back and we're like, okay, that's scary, and then don't say anything in fear of these government agencies like saying something about us,
they're just going to keep pushing.
They're just going to keep pushing. You give an inch, they take a mile. Yep. There's no
once they have the power, they're not getting rid of it. And guess what? You think they got enough power now? They want more. They want more.
Oh, yeah. Dude, look at Joe Biden.
Every one of them, they want more. Nancy Pelosi with her big old titties.
Big old tits.
Going Taiwan.
Dude, I'm surprised that plane didn't get shot down. I'm glad it didn't. God forbid something happens to somebody in the United States right now. We'd be fucked.
All these people, every one of them are liars. They don't care about us. We the people. I don't know.
Like Schoolhouse Rock. We the people.
We the people must stand up. Stand up for yourself. You ain't gonna stand up for nobody else. So.
Either stand for something or you die for nothing. That's the song my dad used to play in his old band.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, I take that into heart. You either stand for it or you don't. You either protect your freedoms or you say screw it and you give the government accessibility to everything. You give the government, the ability to potentially one day in the future use everything against you, and then I don't know, maybe come up with a plan to implement another.
They don't protect us. I've never seen a worker of the government ever. Anybody from Washington? I've never seen them my whole life.
Yeah, not in person.
Not in person.
That's crazy.
They're not doing nothing to apply to my life every day.
Yeah,
nothing.
Yeah,
they're not doing it to apply to your life every day. So what's the point of just letting them run your life?
Yeah. I just don't understand how.
You don't call them on the phone. They don't call you on the phone. They don't know who you are.
Well, that's the whole thing about government dependence now is you've got all these illegals flooding the country, taking up our jobs, and then you've got the Americans, especially after the coronavirus thing, which will probably get us tagged on Spotify.
That's another scary thing.
Well, it's like, all these people stopped working, and now they're on government assistance, and it's like, why the hell would I go back? You're paying me to sit at home and, twiddle my dick. Why would you go back to work?
I would.
It's like if we could sit here and collect a government check to record a podcast, but we can't because we work, because we're actual good Americans.
Let's say
we
this.
actually, provide for our society.
The government doesn't like that me and you are self-sustained for ourselves. They want us to depend on them every second of the day.
Well, that was the whole purpose of all of these was, you drug the populace, you can have a mass manipulation. All right, they've proven that through MK Ultra.
You record the populace.
You record everything that population does. You know everything about them. You can predict what's going to happen throughout their day. John, we work together.
Yeah.
How often are you just like, damn, this is kind of repetitive? Like, this is what I did yesterday. This is what for the, each individual detail of the jobs that we do at work is obviously different, and it makes it not boring for us.
Overall, it's pretty much the same.
Yeah, the government probably has. They probably know when we go take a shit every day, dude. They probably know hey, this is probably about the time he's going to use the bathroom, because most people have a bathroom schedule. That's
about the time
he's
eating supper. It's about the time he's going to bed.
Exactly, and some people don't have a routine like that, but most Americans do. Most Americans wake up, go to work for 8 to 10 hours, and then come home, or 12 if you really work a lot. They can predict what's going to happen throughout your day. They can use that against you. That's crazy. That's wild, man.
That's just when you say it all like that and you put it all together. I think that's the thing. Nobody really sits down and thinks about that.
I mean, and speaking of thinking, what are your thoughts?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
We want to hear it.
Oh, what do you think about Operation Northwoods? What do you think about the whole trying to blame our corrupt government, authoritarian bullshit on Cuba? Where are we at?
40 minutes.
Man, that's not bad.
No, it's not bad at all.
But yeah, I mean, what do you think about MK Ultra? What do you think about them drugging the
innocent people?
Yeah, these I would consider most of them to be mentally ill. You think you've got prostitutes, which are sex workers, people that are most likely already on drugs, drug addicts, prisoners who are looking for any reason to have a different experience than being in prison, and then you've got terminally ill cancer patients that are going to die anyways. They're manipulating these people.
That's really sad.
And they're using that against them. And what do you think about God? Where did this come from? What do you think about all this mass surveillance stuff, man? What do you think about it? What do you think could be done about it? What do you think? Is there anything we missed? Is there anything else that you'd like to add? Because we're going to do another
part 2. We're going to do a part 2 of this.
Kakistocracy part 2.
There's some more.
There's a lot more. I mean, we go into Operation Mockingbird, which is a big one. We need to talk about it. And we just go into a whole bunch of other ones. But what do you personally think about all this? Do you think that possibly MK Ultra could still be going on? I mean, we pretty much know for a fact that they're still recording every move we make as far as our phones go.
Even after this was this way.
But I mean, what do you think about that? What will you do to try to combat that? Are you willing to speak up? Are you willing to take extreme measures in order to say, hey, government, stop imposing on my freedoms?
I think for only for so long can you sit here and say, well, I don't care, because eventually it's going to affect everyone. I mean,
genuinely
affect you the wrong way, and you ain't gonna like it.
Genuinely, I don't have anything on my phone or anything I've ever done that I am ashamed of or regret. I would be 100% open about it. My only problem is there's people that have. You know what I'm saying? I've been pretty open to you.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't lie. If you ask, I'm going to tell you. That doesn't mean I'm open. I'm an open book. I'm going to tell you everything about my life, but I'm not going to lie to you. Mm-hmm. And it's like, there's some people that aren't like that. There's some people that have a specific part of their life that they want to keep hidden. And this government has that.
Yeah, like your best friend.
And they can use it against them.
Your parents don't know, but the government does.
That's just wicked, man.
I don't want them to know.
Oh. I don't have anything else to say, man.
I think that's it. It hurts.
It hurts to know that we don't have our own privacy.
No. And that this stuff was going on, and because I'll say it again, only because a couple people stood up was the reason that we know about this stuff.
And imagine if it was more than just a few people. Imagine if it was a few hundred. Imagine if it was a few thousand.
We'd find out a whole lot more.
There's 330,000 Americans.
Because we could be putting the CIA. We could be putting the right type of people in court instead of worrying about this Alex Jones thing and January 6th.
Yeah, Alex Jones having a defamation trial right now. because he said that Sandy Hook wasn't real
Right,
because he was under what he claims to be mass hysteria. Why are we worrying about that? Why don't we worry about what's happening to us?
Yeah, I mean, look at the way our country's going right now.
I don't care what Alex Jones did 10 years ago.
Look at the way it's been going since World War II.
Yeah, I mean, this mass surveillance started in World War II.
It's not been bad since now. We talk about being bad now, but it's been bad for a long time. And are we going to change it?
I don't know, man.
Or are we, I mean...
Are we just going to sit back and take it?
It's on the internet. I'm sorry. It's literally on the internet for you to look up and see what they are doing to us.
Yeah, I mean, these come through, secrets. Whistleblowers, declassified documents, exposed documents. It's all reputable. It's all stuff you can look up. It's all stuff that's eventually been confirmed in some aspect.
We say it every video. Do your own research. Do your own research.
And please tell us what you think. I mean, like, really, I really want to hear your opinions on the mass surveillance. I really want to hear what you think they use this collective data for, because it's not like they're just picking out a few individuals.
Are y'all scared?
This is mass copying.
Are y'all scared? I'm scared. I'll be honest. I'm scared.
I'm scared for the American population as what that can do as a whole to us, because like I said, unless we have a few thousand people that stand up, unless we have more than just Edward Snowden that's willing to go, hey, you messed up and it's not right, and not to mention did you mess up but you're still doing
we're just going to keep going down the road we're on now,
and we need to stand up and stop it. This is our, this is us asking you, stand up against this. Mm-hmm. Stand up against these operations from the 1960s where they were drugging people and they want to deny it now, or they don't want to talk about it. Stand up against these operations from 1945 up until currently where they're recording every piece of information that you put through your phone, which is damn near everything.
Almost, yeah, because you're on your phone all the time.
Yeah, stand up against these proposed false flag operations against other countries where they're wanting to start a war with other countries for no reason. Well, actually, it is for a reason, but it's for their own reasons. They only wanted to start a war for, like, political gain. Mm-hmm. The CIA was like, oh, yeah, JFK and his brother, they don't like Fidel Castro. Let's throw this proposed false flag operation in there, see if he gets on board. And he didn't, and they hated him for it.
Well, it's a lot to take in.
God, I hate our government.
I hope you take it all in. Comment. Let us hear it all. We want to hear your opinions because we tell each other our opinions. We tell y'all. I'm tired of hearing just us. I want to hear somebody else.
Oh well. On the next episode, tune in. We'll have one. We're gonna have a guest on the next episode, as you heard us talk about before. He's gonna cover the JFK assassination. That's going to officially archive our other JFK video. So if you heard us reference that, it's no longer there. Depending on when you're watching this, and let's say the and if you're watching this currently, be prepared for the next episode when we interview somebody about the JFK assassination.
Let's say the word one more time and close us out.
Kakistocracy. Kakistocracy means. You want to give us the definition one more time?
I was just gonna say fuck the government. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Me too. Yeah.
Well, we already knew that.
Okay. I was just gonna say it one time.
Oh. Well.
Yeah. Kakistocracy. Khaki pants.
Khakis.
People suck. Yeah.
Yeah, man. The governments that are using...
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, where the hell was I going with that?
Well, we appreciate you guys, everything you do. Let's keep it going.
Let's keep it going. Tune into the next video. We'll have that interview out for you. We hope you enjoyed this video. We hope you got some information from it. Let us know what you think. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, True Social. Subscribe to us on YouTube, Rumble, Spotify. John, you need to get us on Apple Podcasts. Add us on Apple Podcasts. This episode will be on there. I'm holding John to it. Thank you, guys. We're closing this one out. Tune in next time. Doses.
Peace, guys.